I think God likes that I look like this, you know, like this, like without a haircut, haven't shaved in 5 months. I think God really likes this look for me. I call myself Radagast the Brown from The Hobbit, because if you look at Radagast the Brown, he looks crazy. But I resonate so much with this character because I feel like I'm him. You know, he is a wizard in the Hobbit, and Gandalf describes him as a great wizard in his own way, and he also says how he loves nature and he uses his wizard powers really for nature and life. And if I had wizard powers, I'd probably do the same thing. Um, but he also looks crazy, and that's one of the reasons why. Because I look crazy. I haven't shaved in 5 months, and um, I haven't. My part of my fast was not drinking alcohol. I've abstained from that, but that hasn't been, a thought like, oh my gosh, I really want to drink some alcohol. No. The hardest part is not even the fact that I haven't shaved. It's the fact that I wake up and I have to not really motivate myself, but I have to um, just kind of walk in obedience, walk and do the things that I know is right, and to not look over the small things. Before I've entered, like a couple of weeks ago, God has just been showing me like diligence in what He has given me right now, which what He's giving me right now is school and um, just trying to be consistent in my devotional and seeking Him and hearing His voice. And that's something that I'm trying to really focus on. I'm finishing school in 2 weeks, and um, and I'm passing all my classes. This is supposed to be my last semester in school. And I went on to my school's website to do my degree audit to see, like, yeah, I'm really done with school, right? After this semester. I'm passing all my classes, so that's no doubt. I'm taking 4 classes. I'm finishing up a general education requirement for my degree. I went on to the degree audit. I have 113 credits, 120 to graduate. One course I'm taking is the science class, which the science class in itself is 3 credits. The other 3 classes are 4 credits. So I would be ending the semester with 128 credits, something like that. Yeah, I don't know, 100, more than 120. Um, I think I have 116 actually. I don't know. Anyway, not important. But I was supposed to take a lab for my science class, and I didn't know this when I was registering for my classes in the beginning of the fall semester. I did not know this, and I also did not see an option to include the lab into my my classes for this semester. So this is like, I call it a rock in your path. When something like this happens, when you're going down the right path, you're walking, and then something just happens unexpectedly that just all of a sudden exists, like, and it's just like, how did I miss this up until this point? And I used to think, and sometimes I still do think, like, God, how, like, why didn't you show this to me a month ago? Like, God, you speak to me and you know everything, and you know that at this point in my life that I would, be seeing this, be confronted by this. How, like, why didn't you just like guide me? Why didn't you just help me, get there sooner to avoid this? And I don't know if it's because we don't ask for these things, or if because He has a plan, for them interrupting our schedule, but it's a little annoying. In elevation, the season right now is the theme right now has been the year of the Lord's favor. And 2020 has been a really strange year for us to declare, like it's ironic that we are declaring that this is the year of the Lord's favor, because it's a global pandemic and a lot of things has happened. The plans have been turned upside down. You know, the life that we know is just strange and different right now. And yeah. So for us to declare that it's the year of the Lord's favor is ironic, but it's also probably true, because, you know, when we are faced with all these types of uncertainties and, you know, a global pandemic, and people's lives are different and changed, and people are going through hard seasons, I think in those moments we can declare it's Lord's favor, because there's always something to look at. There's always something to be like, okay, well, this happened, but, you know, but God still has kept me in my right mind. Or there's always something, and I think we can look forward to the favor of God, because, you know, there's always a season of sowing and then there's a season of reaping, right? And I think that I can look back on this year and be like, yeah, a lot of it sucked. Some of it sucked. Some of it sucked real bad. But God has still shown us incredible favor. And I'm definitely looking forward to God's favor, because obviously I still haven't entered into my calling, which was my prayer for 5 months now. And I had just recently applied to another job at Elevation, because I figured 5 months is just way too long for them to have gotten back to me, or not gotten back to me, for the first job that I applied to. So I scratched that, you know, as that as an option. And it's so easy, even as I'm saying this, telling the story, like, it's so easy for me to just throw myself a pity party and be like, you know, God, you made me waste my time. You made me waste my time months where I was really hoping and praying and fasting for this thing. But I'm not, you know, but it's just so easy to get into that thought process and that thought pattern. And this is kind of what I've been struggling with on different dimensions. Like, it's never been, God, I feel like you're wasting my time. I could look at that in hindsight, but in those moments, it's been like, am I really just like, am I really surrendering? Because I'm really giving God control of the situation, and it's just like, damn, this is all my eggs in one basket. It's all my eggs in one job. You know, I can really take control of the situation, give myself a job, and, you know, go down my own path so that I would have a job. But that's not what my prayer's for. But now that I've been praying for this thing and I haven't gotten the job that I've been praying and fasting for and sacrificed other jobs for, and I don't have that job, it seems like I've wasted my time. But I've applied for another job at Elevation, and it's similar to, like, you know, me entering into my calling and things like that. It's not exactly it, and maybe that's why God's having me wait, because he's trying to set up exactly it, which is fine by me if that's what he's trying to do. But in right now, it just seems like day by day, faith by faith. And one of the things that I was looking forward to, getting back to the school thing that I was talking about, was that I felt like when I graduated, it would be a door, you know, for me to enter into my calling, that I would at least have a degree, you know, I would at least have a degree. And now I'm faced with this thing, like, am I actually graduating at the end of the semester because of that lab that I'm missing? Even though I would have enough credits, it would just be this lab that I'm missing that I guess could prevent me from graduating. I don't know yet. I have to find out about that. But even if I graduate this semester, you know, it could mean that God will use it to help me enter into my calling, or it could not mean that if I don't graduate this semester and have to go through another semester just to finish this lab, God can still provide and answer my prayer and help me enter into my calling with or without a degree. And that's why I'm looking toward God's favor. I'm looking toward God's favor because, yes, I want to graduate. I'm also looking toward God's favor because even if I don't, God, my prayer request is still the same. And I don't want to look like this anymore. So please, let me enter into my calling. The road of being a Christian is tough. You always walk down the narrow path. You have to deny this, you have to sacrifice this, even though denying this seems like the easy option, and sacrificing this seems like you will get what you want now. You have to walk this narrow path of uncertainty. And me and Gabrielle was talking about this. Well, she brought it to me and she was like, you know, God doesn't give you a flashlight. He gives you a lamp unto your feet. And you have a lamp unto your feet. Just imagine that you're walking down a dark road and you can't see 5 steps ahead of you. You could only see as far as your feet are walking. And that's really what it feels like being a Christian, because you're walking this road and you know that this is the road you're supposed to be walking, but as you walk, you only see what's right in front of you. And you know, thank God for Elevation Church and thank God for Pastor Stephen Furdy, because they are in tune with God. And being members of a church means that that pastor is, you know, God is speaking through them to you. So God is speaking through Stephen Furdy to me and my wife, and about how this season, and we should declare that 2020 is the year of the Lord's favor. And not only declare that 2020 was a year of the Lord's favor, but finishing with favor. Finishing this year off with favor. And we finished the year off with favor by looking toward God's favor, right? Because God is the one who ultimately provides us favor in situations and in life. And, you know, He's faithful and He hears our prayers and He hears my prayer. And though I waited 5 months, I will wait 5 more months if it has to be, if He directs me that way. But I know that He wanted me to trust Him and yield to Him in this season. And that's all I can do, really. And it's in His hands, and I'm hoping that, you know, He does something amazing.